JW here, and it's Thursday morning, June 27th, and it's been a pretty interesting week for me. I had an appointment at the surgeon yesterday. Actually, it's been a pretty interesting couple of weeks. Had to go in for a second surgery on a lesser wound that I had. I had two wounds. The one in the ankle area being the most serious wound. And get comfortable here. I'm sitting on a hassock. You know what we do to make these quality videos, huh? And anyway, so I went in to see the surgeon on that on the 12th of June, and then I had to go back yesterday, 2 weeks later, to remove the stitches and another wound check. He likes the wound, he likes the looks of the wound on the ankle, and he said it's healing well. And they took the stitches out of the other one. That looks fine. So I'm making a little bit of progress. The pain, stinging pain has returned. I had kind of a reprieve for a couple of nights on that. Actually got a decent night's sleep in comparison. I wake up every couple hours anyway, but yeah, not a bad night's rest. I had a reprieve, and I'm grateful for that. Believe me, I'm grateful for anything I get. I understand, and this is what I wanted to talk about this morning. That none of this is personal or by design. It's just life, right? Life is what happens to us along the way, right? And this particular thing has happened to me, and I'm spoiled because I've always been healthy and always been active. And this is, I guess, if I can take a positive from all of this, is it's given me a chance to reflect on how lucky I am. And I may not feel lucky right now, as the stinging is kind of high moderate, but nevertheless, I look at the big picture and I know how far I've come, and it's certainly a lot better than it was. And I just want to pass this on, that sometimes we forget, and maybe we're not grateful for the life we've had. And into every life comes, some darkness, a storm or two, and I'm just going through that right now. And if you're going through a storm at this time in your life, maybe listening to me rant might be of some help to you. I don't know. I hope so, because that's the purpose of me making these videos, is maybe to contribute something. I'm not saying I had an awakening or anything. I didn't, but I did feel like I connected more with the spiritual side of my being, in that, I guess some would say out of convenience, I found the spiritual side to God because I was in pain and I started praying, and all of that is true. But fortunately, I had come around a couple of years ago. I realized that I was lacking in the spiritual end of my life, and not that I didn't believe. I believed, but I was lazy in my beliefs, and I had a couple of minor health issues back then. Didn't seem minor at the time. I was dealing with some real bad stomach pains. I thought I had diverticulitis. It turned out, again, self-diagnoses and a lot of research, that I was getting too much gas in my body, and it turned out this is, again, all self-diagnosis. I didn't go to any doctors for this or anything. But a couple of those pains had, I was bent over in pain, could barely walk, and knew it wasn't appendicitis. I've already had my appendix removed, but it felt like that kind of pain, real sharp pain. And I'd had it maybe about, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I experienced similar type pain, not on a regular basis, but every few months. And so I attributed it to maybe diverticulitis. A friend of mine's wife was a doctor, and she thought that's what it might be too. She said, "I know you're not going to go to a doctor, John, so I'm going to give you my diagnosis over the phone." But yeah, so I attribute it to I drink that fizzy water, the Italian water there. I can't remember the name of it. And I was drinking a lot of it, and like 3 or 4 bottles a day. And I thought, it's going to be good for me. It's got all kinds of minerals in it. But once I knocked that off and started paying attention a little more to my diet in terms of gassy type foods, I was eating a lot of vegetables at the time, and I switched over to a carnivore diet, and it made all the difference for me. That and getting rid of the gassy foods. So now I eat pretty much meat, eggs, and I have a protein shake in the morning. I only eat twice a day. I do intermittent fasting, and I've lost a considerable amount of weight, part of it due to this wound issue. Before the wound issue, I weighed 153. I've gone as low as 146. I weighed myself this morning and I was 149, so I'm putting on a few pounds. And, the problem is when I am, I don't want to use the word disabled, but when I am out of whack and can't get in my regular exercise, or my walks and my strength training, I've been doing a little bit of it, but I've had to cut back quite a bit. I tend to lose weight. Now it sounds odd. Most people, if they stop walking, burning calories, they're going to gain weight. But it's just the opposite with me. So I think I was probably losing muscle tone. I'm 70. I'm going to be 79 next week, 7th of July, so a week from Sunday. And so, you don't maintain a lot of muscle mass, but you still do. If you work out and you take care of yourself and you eat right, you can maintain a lot more muscle mass than the average person your age, even if you're old like me. And so I think I was losing muscle mass because I looked in the mirror and, at 146, I was a scrawny X-ray. At 149, I'm a little bit more toned and have a little bit more muscle tissue in my arms and, my areas of my body. But, it's not what it was prior to the wound. I was, like I said, I was walking 2 hours a day. I was doing 2 sessions of muscle building exercises, a half hour each day. So I was working out 3.5 hours a day on average. And some days more, some days less. But, and things were good. I was feeling good. I felt strong. When I was 146, I liked the feeling of being light and lean, but I don't like the feeling of being a little bit on the fragile side in the sense that I don't have that skeletal muscle that is good. So anyway, I think right now I'm 149. I think I'd like to stay around 150, and I think it's a good weight for me. So I'm going to experiment with that, and like I say, I'm going to start getting back to my walks. I plan for Monday to start getting some walks in at Plum Island. Like I say, the pain in the wound is somewhat stingy today. I've walked on it a couple of times last week. I think I went out for 3 walks last week, and relatively, I don't want to say pain-free, but I was able to handle it very well. And later that day, I did get some stinging. So I know there's a fine line on how much I can do and how much I can't do. All of what I say, by the way, is to maybe, again, if you're dealing with some sort of an issue and you're getting like me, I'm getting stir crazy. I'm a very active person. If you're an active person, you know what I'm talking about. They tell me, oh, keep it elevated, keep it elevated. I got to live my life. I can't just sit in a chair all day and keep my foot elevated. I want to heal it as quickly as possible, and it is healing well, but I'm telling you, I think I got a ways to go yet. I think I'm still 3 months away, maybe 4, before I'm going to be 100% now. The wound has improved considerably. the surgeon was he said to me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I explained to him, well, I changed the bandages he said, whatever you're doing the right thing. He said it's made remarkable progress in the last month. And he said, just keep up whatever you're doing. So I attribute a lot of it to the people at the wound center, who I have an appointment today with them, and I haven't seen them in 3 weeks because of scheduling conflicts with the surgeon. And so anyway, I usually go to the wound center on Thursdays, and it's been 3 weeks. I usually go every week, and then I think they were thinking about cutting me back to every 2 weeks anyway. And then they said, if it conflicts with the surgeon, we don't want to see it. But I haven't been there in 3 weeks. Next week is the 4th of July, so I want to get there today and at least have them take a look at it and see. I value their opinion as much as I do the surgeon's opinion, in the sense that the wound people deal with wounds. That's their specialty. The surgeon deals with surgery. Now, he liked the looks of the wound, and I certainly value his opinion. But again, I want to confirm it with the wound people today, and so I'm looking forward to that appointment. But anyway, again, if you're dealing with similar issues, doesn't have to be a wound, it could be any kind of mental, physical pain, know that these are the storms that we have to deal with in life, and we get through them, right? That's what we do. And, I've really increased my motivational viewership on videos on YouTube, and I've been doing a lot of Neville Goddard. And what I do is I take a Neville Goddard video and I summarize it in my own words and put up a video of less than 2 minutes, and I can summarize it. And so I know people are busy today, but so look for some of my videos on my channel. The Neville Goddard stuff's good, and whatever I put up there, I try to summarize things that have been useful to me, and maybe I can save you a little time with Just the Facts, ma'am. Just the Facts. There used to be a show on TV called Dragnet. You got to be my age to remember that one. I'm pretty close to it. But he used to say, he was a police detective, and he would interview someone, usually a woman. He'd say, it just turned out that way. It was kind of their shtick. He would interview a woman, and they'd start rambling on, and he'd say, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And so that's what I try to do with my videos, is just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Anyway, that's my update. I know it's been a while since I've done a live video, and so I just wanted to do that. And thank you all for watching my channel, and I started getting a few more subscribers, and I'm hoping by next week I'm going to be more active, not only by doing my walks and taking you out to Plum Island, showing you some beautiful scenery out there, and taking you along with my walks, and we can discuss, anything that comes up in life that might, anything I can pass on to you that might be helpful, something you might be experiencing that I'm experiencing. Or we can talk about topics that are going on in the news, or important medical issues that are going on with the society. And I know I'm rambling right now, but you know what I mean. We can pass information along, and I'm hoping at some point, as the channel grows, we can get feedback. And I know a lot of you folks are really good researchers, and you have really valuable information to pass on, and I hope you'll share it with myself and the members of the channel. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. It's been a long video, and I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.